We will now have the presentation of the colors by the Lodi Police Department Honor Guard.
Get attention.
Detail. Present. Arm. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. 2. Good morning. We would like to welcome you to the annual Lodi Police Department Memorial Day ceremony. Although this is a little unconventional, as you can see, we're doing a little social distancing due to the pandemic. On behalf of Chief Scorzetti, Deputy Chief Franco, the Lodi Mayor and Council, we would like to welcome you all here today. We also wish that all of you are healthy and safe at this time, and we ask you to continue to stay safe and stay strong. We're going to start off with the reading of the policeman's prayer. The policeman stood and faced his God, which must always come to pass. He hoped his shoes were shining, just as brightly as his brass. Step forward now, policeman, how shall I deal with you? Have you always turned the other cheek? To my church have you been true? The policeman squared his shoulders and said, no, Lord, I guess I ain't. Because those of us who carry badges can't always be a saint. I have had to work most Sundays, and at times walk was rough, and sometimes been violent, because the streets are awfully tough. But I never took a penny that wasn't mine to keep, though I worked a lot of overtime when the bills just got too steep. And I never passed a cry for help, though at times I shook with fear, and sometimes, God forgive me, I wept unmanly tears. I know I do not deserve a place among the people here. They never wanted me around, except to calm their fear. If you have a place for me here, Lord, I needn't go be so grand. I never expected or had too much. But if you don't, I'll understand. There was silence all around the throne, where the saints had often trod, as the policeman waited quietly for the judgment of his God. Step forward now, policeman, you've borne your burden well. Come walk a beat on heaven's streets. You've done your time in hell. We will now have the placing of the wreath by Sergeant Delmonico and Detective Castro. Detail. Breaks and home. Order, move! Thank you. We will now have the reading of the deceased names of the members of the Lodi Police Department. Sergeant William Anacarico, Lieutenant Frank Averso, Detective Victor Beagle, P.O. Bertram Brunich, Detective Anthony Bua, Lieutenant Dominic Calari, P.O. Salvatore Canta, Captain Philip Carbonetti, Detective Joseph Casamenti, P.O. William Catalioto, Captain Charles Chiodo, Police Officer Joseph Chiodo, Lieutenant Henry Simaluka, P.O. James Cole Sr., Lieutenant Sam Composto, P.O. John Claus, Captain Matthew Davis, Chief Thomas Davis, Detective Anthony DeFranco, Police Officer Richard DeRover, Police Detective Antonio Della Penta, Police Officer Luz DeRosa, Police Officer William Diamond, Lieutenant Frank Discafano, Captain Dominic D'Onofrio, Chief Robert Frisella, Police Officer James Ferreira, Police Officer Ernest Foggi, Police Officer Frank Fosnick, Police Officer Patrick Gallo, Police Officer John Garantano, Detective Joseph Giblin, Sergeant Anthony Harris, Police Officer James Hutchinson, Police Officer Joseph Ingracia, Police Officer George Jaquinas, Police Officer Edward Kumin, Police Officer Walter Kaczynski, Detective James Lisa, Sergeant Salvatore Lamartino, Captain Leonard Lacasio, Police Officer James Lepresti, Police Officer Michael Luciano, Police Officer Frank Luciano, Police Officer Frank Scooter Luciano, Sergeant Steve Marquesi, Police Officer Joseph Miller, Lieutenant Andrew Minotti, Police Officer James Mazzata, Police Officer Thomas Mullins Sr., Deputy Chief Arthur Babe Nasta, Captain Steve Nebesny, Police Officer Alfio Big Al Luciforo, Captain Robert Odie, Detective Emery Paul, Detective Philip Patiri, Detective William Pisano, Sergeant Frank Pirelli, Police Officer Jack Salemi, Police Officer Anthony Scarpone, Detective Fortunato Duke Semenka, Captain Victor Siganolfi, Chief Michael Spervero, Sergeant Michael Sapone, Police Officer Anthony Tamburini, Police Officer Gary Tedesco, Police Officer Anthony Taranto, Chief Paul Tricolo, Sergeant John Kaczynski, Police Officer Aaron Vandervliet, Chief Andrew P. Voto, Sergeant Peter Voto, Captain Chief Philip Vigenti, Captain Philip Vigenti, Police Officer Joseph Wagner, Police Officer Joseph Whitty, Chief Henry Whitty, Police Officer Robert Young, We would like to thank everyone for attending. Like I said earlier, this is a little different than we normally would be doing this, but we wish you all to be safe, stay healthy, and stay strong, Lodi. At this point, this concludes our ceremony. Honor guard, retired colors.
Honor guard, left.